pack of those, of the almost card.
Okay.
Cardstock.
Yeah.
If you like one on cardstock, right?
Yeah, but I like the one that she made from that's not this one.
No, that's not that.
Yeah.
You're out there.
Yeah, it's at the beginning, two at the beginning.
Great, thank you, ma'am. Okay, calling the meeting to order at 5:04. And that's just part of the entertainment, whether you need it or not. And I'm going to take things out of order and welcome Marie, and I gather you know half of us and you've never seen the other half before in your life. So, I'm Sandra Wallace, I'm the chair for the moment.
I'm Henry Spencer, Vice Chairman for the moment.
And I'm Catherine, so before, I live on Dublin, and get that, I'm back to your house.
John is the one.
And Tom.
Courier.
Mhm.
And Marie Ilvanen, and I live at Pleasant Beach.
And so your last name again?
Ilvanen. Lot of Finnish names in this,
Oh,
neighborhood.
Finnish. Hey, yes, we've got, the guy that does our lawn and the guy that plows snow are both Finns. So,
It came around the turn of the century, there was quite a depression of the last century, in Finland, and so a lot of people, immigrated.
and you've got a church.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes,
So, welcome, we're very glad to have you.
excited to be here. It seems like a wonderful project.
Yes. It is.
And I'm taking minutes. Right?
Well, right, the next
Hopefully.
order of business is election of officers, and the first election is for secretary, which unless she's backing out, Rachel has agreed to be. Yes,
Yes.
so I nominate Rachel as their
I
second.
second.
Everybody's second.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, so that was me and Catherine.
I will nominate Sandra as just serve as chairman for another term.
I was second that.
I'm second. All those in favor? All
Aye.
right.
Okay,
And I will nominate Henry to be vice chair for another term.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Yeah, so
Well, that's done.
Very cohesive.
Yeah. Thank you all.
I'm particularly grateful to Rachel. That seems to be the job everybody was screaming from.
Nobody wants, so just anyway, I'm not sure I can follow Linda's style.
Well, we're not gonna try and
There you go.
match Linda's standard, but it'll be good enough.
It'll be a different standard.
Right,
it'll meet legal qualifications,
Yes, sir.
requirements.
so adjustments to the agenda. I have two. One is that somehow I didn't put Marie down as new business. So that's one addition to new business. And the other is, I've just been in communication with Neil Cambridge, who, in addition to being an associate member here, is chair of the Resilience Committee. And they have a combined project contract with St. George for a community resilience project, for a climate resilience plan. And they have a working group that they're calling the Tiger Team, which is meeting separately from the Resilience Committee. And they're having a meeting Friday to discuss community engagement and outreach. And he wanted to know, is Conservation Commission interested? And I think certainly we're interested in outreach, getting more community members involved in our overlapping issues. So the meeting we're invited to is this Friday, 4 o'clock. In Guilford Butler. So I'm gonna go and, I don't know, Sally, are you going?
Yeah, I go to them all.
Okay,
At the library?
yes. Okay, review and approval of prior meeting minutes.
With the. Quiet.
Like, it sounds like the door is open.
No,
No,
yeah.
I'm having hard, the minutes will reflect, but I'm not hearing very well.
Can I turn the fan down on this?
Yeah.
Let's try without it, because I can barely hear you.
We can try, and if it gets intolerably hot,
The door to the hallway.
Well, no, that's,
Sometimes
well,
that's
this is the resilience.
that's forbidden for an open meeting. Not that anybody ever comes.
I will quiet.
Yes,
It would be inside me after the.
So what is the,
the minutes,
there was one typo which I'll fix, I had no feedback, many back,
Excellent,
right, so just,
that's huge.
all right, let's just do it.
You know, people will come in,
Yeah.
but
so just, it's just a Scrivener's error, then it's all you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so, we need.
So I would
motion and
move-
Second,
I move to approve the meeting.
Second.
Yeah, to approve the minutes, yeah.
and second,
and who second?
all,
Pick somebody, they're all happy.
Any discussion now?
All right, all in favor?
right,
Okay. That gets us to the forest preserve, on which there's been a lot of progress. I sent around. But probably late enough that some of you didn't see it, the fundraising letter as it reads now, did you see it?
Thank you for keeping it. I'm grateful.
Catherine is determined to keep the ask down to 15,000.
Yeah.
But you know, I think, and you're worried about comparing it to how much we've already spent. I think what we should be comparing it to is the purchase price. I think people are gonna say, wait a minute, we're spending how much to save how much? Anyway, 15,000.
Well, we're doubling our money.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
what I,
spending about 15 and 18 to get 67.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
That's not bad.
no, it's also, also what, I'll talk about it more later, because it comes up under appraisal. But anyway,
But I think.
We're not spending it, that's the point. So far, we have been raising everything we needed. So, you know, in the end, we may have $100,000 worth of land plus, you know, inspections and so forth at no cost to the town, you know, just the benevolence of people.
it's more than
right,
100,000.
tax dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the value of the land is more
Yeah,
than
yes,
that,
exactly.
so. Anyway, I don't know. I know Rachel saw it, Catherine saw it.
Yeah.
I saw
Any
it.
final concerns? Because now, next step, we have permission to post it.
I don't think people are going to be, who are considering donating to it, are going to. Or many people are not going to feel, okay, we're spending this for what, you know, it's costing us how much. We're gonna say, yeah, I can donate some money to this, I think it's a worthwhile project and they're going to analyze it very deeply.
Well, I like that we are transparent, we are detailing, you know, the activity, you know, what's needed.
Yeah,
So that it, you know, people may ask, money for what, you know, you're getting the grant and they may not understand all these hoops we had to jump through. So here, the hoops are named one by one with the price tag, so it shows that, you know.
It's a spreadsheet. in
Yeah,
a sense,
yeah, and we are not asking money just for the fun of it. It's for-
Right.
you know, I thought it was very straightforward.
Yes, and that's it, short, simple, you know.
Yep.
I think we did a great job.
There were a lot of
So do I,
cooks and
yeah.
I think it came out okay.
So the distribution thing, I think, having a PDF attachment would work, but I would really like to have the text in the body of the email. Because it's so easy to overlook.
Right.
things.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, it's very easy.
Right.
She opens the things and copies and paste in the body of the email before forwarded to
You mean
the,
the copy and paste the map?
not the map, the text. Instead of having an attachment, letter as a PDF.
Yeah, if you're interested, please open, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to seeing it, it's already
Alright.
there, just start
Yes,
reading.
I mean, both ways,
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I was not understanding you, I think. Yes, the letter will all be in the,
in the
Email.
body,
this is just because we've been working on the document.
yeah,
Not that we're gonna send an attack. I thought you were talking about trying to put the map into the
no,
email.
no, yeah.
Okay.
The map can be an attachment.
Okay. I did want to ask you. You've got it in both JPEG and PDF, and I chose the PDF. Figuring most people would be able to open it, but you think that's right?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
pretty much any computer will open it.
Yeah, then
it will work,
PDF
it
will-
open.
JPEG may be stopped by some filter or whatever, so.
okay, so
Yeah.
PDF is good, okay. So. We'll ask them to put it up on the website and send it out to the listserv. And then what? Wait for the money to roll.
Oh, yeah.
She
Go to the bank, yes, and just grab around it.
should have a little bell.
Right, okay.
Like in public.
So, also, I shared with everybody, the foresters management plan, which I have not had opportunity to take in. It's only 83 pages long.
I don't.
I do expect the working group
It
at some
extends
point
like the
to
forest,
read it.
yeah.
But the rest of you, it would be nice if you were familiar with it. You give a sense of what it is that oh, shoot.
You printed it out.
I printed it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yes, and I printed out copies that I was gonna bring to the working group and they're sitting on my desk at home. Sorry about that. But if you haven't printed it, I will.
Yeah.
I have it or, dang, that was an oversight, sorry. But yes, I have it printed out. Just for the working group. I asked the town office to do it, but I wasn't asking them to do more copies for the other folks.
I'm happy to say a few words about the content.
Yeah.
Okay, so, there is a nice little map that describes the stands. And there are technical coding as to what each stand is in terms of type of trees, age, and size, and and so forth. So the identified tasks that we need to focus on as soon as possible are the invasives. And she locates them, obviously. And some of them say, can be tackled quickly, but it's gonna be an ongoing thing. And then there's an area, unfortunately, near the wetland that's much more substantial, and that's gonna take more effort. But the other task, which I find very important and would be very useful to me, it's how do they call it? The glazing of the property. Is it glazing? What's the word?
Glazing.
Glazing, thank you. Yeah, glazing doesn't sound right. Making chicken.
I was replacing glass.
Yeah, right.
So glazing, which is essentially marking the boundaries, like when you go to George River Land Trust properties, they have those little triangles, diamond things, and it's showing you where the limits are. And if we could do that, so we don't have little metal things showing, South Thomaston Preserve, so it can be done with paint as well. And obviously we need to inquire.
Usually they they blaze the tree physically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then paint it.
yeah,
So the paint stays for a number of years because it's, you've gotten rid of the bark and the sapwood. And, you paint it red.
Yeah.
But no, red or another, she shows little examples on, how it's done, I think, or maybe I researched it or whatever. But, and it would be a good exercise to find out actually where the limits are. And the southern limit, the eastern limit, in my opinion, I'm trying to orient myself, where the wetland section is, the biggest section, that's the one that's difficult to access on the other side. But when I walked it recently with Miss over there,
Rachel, my name is Rachel.
yes. She mentioned on the map a wetland, which I had never seen before, which was next to the area that had been cut down. So, she mentioned we might be able to ask her questions at some point, but I want to ask her if she noticed a beaver dam nearby because
We did mention.
She mentioned
beaver
that.
activity.
yeah, but I know there are some in the southern part, because I've seen their work and the trees chewed up and so forth. But on the other side of the road, I'm wondering if there are new dams, more recent ones, because the wet area was much more expensive
Really?
than what I had seen before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen
Yeah.
overnight, actually.
Yeah. And we're going to have a lot of rain tomorrow.
No. Well, so we have any.
Yes. And she mentioned, which is a good point, we have to be concerned about climate change, and now the storms are shorter but more violent in intensity and so forth. So on the Storm Dump Road, there is an area that had been damaged already, and it was a culvert, and it was more or less repaired. But she said, do a good job with it and put a much bigger size culvert, so that, if we have a very intense rainstorm, that can evacuate the water instead of flooding everything. And then again, eroding the path,
Right, if you don't do it right, you just have to do it over.
and over again.
Right, so that's after more people become aware of what's in the report. It's a question of putting priority, which you want
Yeah.
to deal with first and second, stuff like that. Did she mention what invasive species was coming?
Yes, and Stephen, this was so, included pictures of them.
Right.
Like the honeysuckle, obviously, the Japanese knotweed, not
that's in
so
there?
much.
The rose.
Yeah.
The invasive rose.
Rugosa goes up.
Along,
Yeah.
it's not rugosa, it's the other rose, sorry.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, but she said the honeysuckle is definitely bad, serious.
In one big section.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the things.
and the Japanese knotweed.
One of the things, what?
The shrub honeysuckle is one of the things taking over the state of Maine.
Yeah, so she definitely says we need to get a.
That, I just got rid of 2 acres of it over the last 3 years, but I had to dig it down to dirt. The only other way I've ever found to actually deal with it is involves certain chemicals.
Well, the Japanese knotweed will be a problem, because she said you can't compost it. I think that's the one you can't
Right.
compost, you need to burn it somehow, so
Yeah.
that, So we'll have to check the
We're gonna have
extent
to
of it.
learn a lot.
Because, of course, she's offering services for every task, if there is something for us, too big for us to.
Yeah.
Take, that can be.
Yeah, if I may add. A couple of observations also from reading it is, because it was forested at a certain point, because there was a timber harvest. There are very few snags, she says, anywhere on the property. So
Right.
it's a sort of interesting lack of dead trees,
Yeah.
downed or standing. So she recommends that in terms of wildlife, it would be smart to actually bring some in.
Yeah.
Kill a few trees.
Well, she said, put up nests for wood ducks, around the wet area,
gotcha.
put up, nests for barred owls.
Yeah.
Just because of it having been, harvested,
Mhm.
there's a little less of that than you would want for the kind of
Yeah.
mixed
Right.
wildlife.
Right.
I will say one thing, I thought it was incredibly detailed on the trees. And it's great, I think my gosh, we got our money's worth, but it's almost like. If anybody ever does wanna do a timber harvest, she really went to town on that aspect.
Right,
So there's a lot there that as you're reading, I don't know, just if you haven't looked at it yet, you may be able to skim through some of this detail on the trees and canopy, and if I may. But at the end of each section, she has these, like what she recommends.
right.
And if you don't have any other time, I would just slip down and look at those recommendations, what she thinks we should do. And I think that should be our next, if we could, Sandra and Henry, have a conversation
Yeah.
about those pretty soon.
Yeah.
I agree. There is a lot about the current condition, and then I really appreciated the warning about conditions are going to change. How do we adapt, to keep that forest healthy and thriving? So, she did a lot of work here.
So I haven't had time to read much, but, and building on what Rachel just said, I think maybe our homework for next time is everybody do as much as they can of looking through it so that we can have at
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
meeting, a conversation about what our priorities
Yeah.
would be
Yes.
and how we plan to tackle them.
Cool.
But one thing that struck me was she starts out in the cover note by saying, I understand, something to the effect of, I understand you don't want to be harvesting and I wouldn't recommend it, but then the report itself is shot through with all this stuff, which I think I think she's got basically a template
Yeah.
that is aimed at logging operations, and so there's a lot of it that, for us is just extraneous or a distraction.
No, I view it as educational.
Yeah.
And again, how do you classify trees and so forth? And no, I think, and eventually at some point I read a paragraph that when you have growth areas that are going to start, you may have to thin some areas for the
Down the
health of
road,
the others.
yes.
Yeah, so. No, I mean, obviously, you don't have to read every line, if you're not interested in some paragraphs, but I was very much interested in the variety of trees and so forth, so I enjoyed reading it.
So one concern you mentioned that I checked, you said that the price looked like it might have left out, I don't know what we had wanted, but I checked.
It's
It's the full price, and that included, she said, a full inventory of birds. So is that in there?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
there, but
it's
I'm
in
less
there.
interested.
Okay.
So let's
Yeah.
get that.
And it's a time of year when the songbirds are not really present so much now because the nesting has passed. She comments on that, but she says, so therefore we should continue to pay attention. But she lists for
Yeah.
these tree stands, all the types of birds
The
that would
habitat.
typically
Yeah.
nest in these areas, and it's a huge variety, so it's very interesting.
Yeah,
I think it will be a great opportunity to maybe do some educational posters and, figure out where we could show that, or like at some point as people walk in the forest, help them say, in here you have this kind of trees and, which,
Like,
yeah. So,
Yeah, and this is good habitat for different kinds of wildlife as
Yes.
well as birds.
yes. So.
Including beavers.
And northern varying hair, which people tend to call rabbits, but they're not.
So what I'm seeing on my property is, I know the difference between a hare and a rabbit, and I've got cottontails on my
Are
property.
you kidding?
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
No.
It seems to be extinct in mid.
Yeah, no, there's a couple places down in York where they are too,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
this is not a hare.
And they're moving north like everything else as it warms up.
I've seen a brown bunny for the first time, like
And they're
last
definitely
week.
not bunnies.
That's, but that's great. If it's happening, it's great. because they were supposed to have been lost in the mid-coast.
But
And there was
there's,
an introduction program down in.
mine is
Southeast.
not Whitetail, I mean, it's like
Why
a,
do
It's no-
why do they want,
Well, that's an interesting question.
Why does who want what?
Why do they want cottontails?
yeah, why do they want
That's a good
cottontails?
question.
Cottontails are nowhere near as much fun to hunt.
Well, maybe the coyotes would enjoy them instead of our chickens. No,
Apparently they were easier ones.
I don't have chickens.
Cottontails don't run like the hare do. The hare will make a big circle.
So you just
Cottontails like
stand there and wait for
disappear
it to
into a
come
hole.
back?
And sit still,
You're right, you just stand there and wait for it to complete the circle and come back.
almost.
You listen to the dog, takes it around in the circle and put yourself where it,
Probably
where
not
it's
a lot.
gonna come.
There might be two people at this table that have ever heard that sound.
Okay,
Are
so
there any trails on the property right now other than the?
we need to ask the folks who've been there.
any what?
Trails. If we-
Well, there is the remnant of the Stump Dump Road.
Right, see that on the
And
map.
it's, getting very overgrown. And then there was the town forest road going straight up, toward Henry's property. And, when we just started on the project, I know, John and Leslie had walked through and cut the the passage, and now I couldn't find it. It's totally overgrown,
Okay.
so. I mean, we'll discuss it. Unfortunately,
Yes.
next month I'm not gonna be here, so, yeah, next month is September, I'll be away.
In September.
Are we? Yeah, now which month are we? Oh,
Yeah.
Which is rather shocking.
So that kind of brings up one thing that came up at the select board meeting last night, which is that we could assemble a work crew and clear some of the overgrown paths, both the road to it and the stump dump
Yeah.
road in it. And we have two volunteers already,
Yeah.
Henry and Leslie,
Yeah,
A volunteer.
and great.
I will too,
I may
definitely.
I may be able to persuade my husband. I don't know I'd be in shape to do it.
But it's something, yeah, that could become like even a regular activity.
Yeah.
Put an hour or two on the
I know
Saturday.
somebody who might.
Yeah.
Okay, and also we could start assembling work crews to deal with the invasives. I know some of the, like the Himalayan balsam,
Hmm.
any amateur can do that. The other stuff is trickier. You could spread it instead of eradicating.
The thing is, so something has to be open off the town forest road to go around the Arthur Road property.
Mhm.
That's where the worst is needed, because we are not supposed to go on the Stump Dump Road to go to
Absolutely,
the other side.
absolutely.
So, the easiest, the low hanging fruit is to clear the Stump Dump Road that is on the property, but to access that part. You
You can have,
already
clear.
need to clear.
it's basically from the stump dump road on town land where it forks, from that fork up to the town forest road, that's where it's really messy.
Well, no, that's bad because, it needs to be cut because of the ruts. Right now, it could be very dangerous if you don't pay attention. You can break an ankle very easily because you see grass and suddenly there is a 2 feet drop, and so that needs to be cleared as well, but
Yeah,
as you branch off that road to go around, that little square and Rothy Road, so there, that's totally jungle-like.
okay,
but
so,
that's cutting from scratch.
Yeah,
Right,
as opposed to the town forest road, you have a clear.
just maintenance, yeah.
It's a nice.
so yes, it sounds like.
That would be
Agreed.
fun to do, but and another thing, so I wonder if we should consult with the George River Land Trust. Because, they may have advice on, again, what to cut, not to cut, protecting some rock outcrop, because same thing. once you want to go around, there are remnants of a quarrying area where you have big blocks of granites. And there might be holes in there that you
Right.
don't want to fall in, and,
So what your suggestion is that we sort of mark out where we think it should go in and have them come and say, this is
Yeah.
all good, but.
make an appointment and maybe
Right.
you have a session with them, but just clearing the town, the section of the town forest road will already keep you busy, you know, a few
Yeah,
hours.
Okay.
It seems to me that we should, you know. It's all very well to clear some land in a path in the preserve, but first you have to be able to get to it.
Right.
Yeah,
Are you saying the stump dump road up to the edge of the property is not passable, that needs to be cleared too?
It's passable, we walked it, but it's massively overgrown, I mean,
Okay.
you wanna take a strong, not a
Yeah.
little one, but a strong weed whacker and go through there. And you have to be careful because of these ruts
Yeah.
and potential holes. So
and
you
they
almost
are,
wanna
they
clear
are
it and
fallen
then
branches.
it needs to be graded.
Yeah.
Realistically, I
Yeah.
feel like it needs to
Basically,
have
go
someone
and see
doing.
where it's first stick and just start
Grading.
cleaning up.
Yeah, you start, yeah, that's the key. You go in with, you know, you may need a saw, or chainsaw might be too much at this point in time. Because it's just on the road, but you definitely need an edger, a weed whacker, you know, the more powerful, the better. And, you know, and go around so that then you can really see the terrain that you're going to walk on.
Yeah.
And, you know, the feeling the ruts is gonna be a priority.
So do we wanna try to set up a date?
Well. Just wanna, before we. Before we branch off the subject, another thing that came up at the select board meeting is. John at least, and I think the others weren't disagreeing, was saying. Maybe beyond the fork. He wants it to be, he doesn't wanna improve it enough, you could take a wheeled vehicle in there, he
Yeah.
wants that to be walking, he does not. For one thing, if it's only accessible to walkers, it's not as attractive to ATVs. And
But
they're very pleased that the ATVs seem to have made themselves
Given up.
scarce, but we would like it to stay that way.
yeah, but you know, there is a lot to do even before you get a 4 feet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
At the moment, it's really hard to say, well, let's take people on a tour or something and
Yeah,
walk
no,
this
no,
area.
no, I think that,
That initial,
Right.
from the moment you're at Dana's hut, a little hut there, but the stump dump from there,
It needs-
on in is it's almost really rough going.
Mhm.
And a weed whacking team would be a huge help.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna have to grade it. I think it doesn't have to be a big machine and a ton of work, but
Yeah.
I think you're gonna need
But
someone to
the
grade
weed
it.
walking alone, you know, would take you probably a good day. You know,
But if you have a team with several, I think you could do it in a few hours, but a couple of. But
well,
an hour,
okay, but
I
if
think
we
it's a-
did that, then we could assess where
yeah,
we are.
and that's why, you know, at the beginning, I mean, all of us, I mean, who are interested, if we could start looking at that, and if they are involving other people.
And other thing, we do wanna keep pretty good records on volunteer time that was spent.
Now,
on it.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
yeah, that's gonna
Still
be
a
matching, yeah.
because then it's like, I might show up I might have time on a Tuesday, no one else is out there, I say, well, I'll go up and.
Yeah, but we need to keep
Also,
track
and
of,
if people bring their own equipment, that's also matching.
Okay, all right,
yeah, we need to keep track because that can counter with matching grants, how much we gave.
Yeah.
yeah, working kind and all that stuff. All right, cool.
Okay, so. We covered, oh,
I'm retired, so any day of the week is fine with me, but
So do we want
So,
to set up a time?
do we wanna try and? Well, I think maybe the first thing is to try to reach out, find out. Expand, use this as an opportunity to get more people familiar with it, and so, yeah, see who would be interested in being a work party.
I would recommend that for the first couple of visits, it's just
yes,
the Conservation Commission. So that we can assess, you know, how easy of a job it is, how much time it's going to take, how many people are welcome. You don't want to have 30 people come and you have to work for 10, okay?
Right,
And
right.
so be able to assess that and also the kind of equipment that could be useful.
Yeah.
You know, so,
on free Monday.
Okay, I'm on vacation next week.
What does that
It's also
mean?
very hot and very mosquito-y. I just, right now, maybe we wait a little.
I,
What
There
is it?
shouldn't be too many mosquitoes we have in
I
the
know,
drought.
but it was bad.
it was
Not
bad.
us, Because it's where there's wetland and there's.
I had my net
They are
and I
in
was
place.
happy.
She had to catch, she had a face cover and I was quite jealous.
So next week, any day? People, okay.
The only day that's bad for me is Thursdays, because I have a student who comes in on Thursdays, but other than
Okay.
that.
And Wednesday, I have an eye exam and the dentist cleaning. It's the worst. So, I don't know, Thursday you say is bad?
Well, Thursday, I mean, I'm free after 1:30, 2 o'clock, but I have a student comes in. At like 10 to 12:30, 1 o'clock.
How about Monday?
Monday's fine.
Yeah, I won't be around on Monday.
Monday about Tuesday?
I should be back.
Tuesday's good.
Tuesday, who is on board for Tuesday?
First half of the day, otherwise I'm.
Yeah, so
First half, you said?
First half of the day is good.
do you want to
Second half I'm with my mom.
early afternoon?
Well,
Or
if
it's
you know,
cooler.
it's
can-
cooler in the
Cooler in the
morning.
Yeah, I'd rather meet at
So you're
9,
free
something
tomorrow.
like
I'm
that.
free in the mornings.
Oh,
And I'm
okay,
with my mother,
All right,
Tuesday and
so
Wednesday.
we
Second
can
half
meet
of the
at
day.
9, by the park, by the tennis sports?
Yeah.
Okay, 9 on Tuesday.
Right.
Okay, and I'll bring my weed whacker, my
Me
chains. I don't think I'll need my chainsaw yet.
Oh, I think that's the first-
And
Yeah, I have an electric one too, but even that, I don't think, I think,
Not the first trip out.
you can
yeah.
let Leslie know because she's, if they're back.
okay.
There was no, the car they used for traveling was not there.
They left last night for Boston. He's got
Oh.
several days of intensive.
I'm assuming there's a locked gate there, cause I see it when I've gone up to the dump.
Not during the week, yeah.
Okay, alright, so we can drive up as far as Stump Dump then,
Well,
But
if
you
you
can't
ever,
park.
You can't
Well-
park there.
okay.
So it's a bit of a schlep, you know, we parked at the
if
tennis courts.
if
And I was
no,
thinking, this has to be sorted somehow.
if you're doing something for the town. They will unlock the gates and you can drive all the way
Yeah,
up.
that's what I was thinking, is just get in touch with
That
it.
just the same as we did for the Forester. We didn't make her.
Well, where did she
tennis
park?
court. Well, I don't know. I told
Yeah,
her,
that's the key.
I told her
It's
on Tuesday, she could park anywhere she finds convenient because the stump dump's not open.
Okay.
Any place you can find to put a car.
Well, you know, if the stump dump is open on Tuesday, I
It is
probably
not,
not.
Wednesday not,
Okay, so
Wednesday,
if they
Saturday.
open the gate, we can park right at the stump dump.
right.
Right.
You know,
that's
Do you
great.
wanna see, arrange to get the key or get it unlocked?
Well, I can, but I'm not gonna be.
I'll
doing this,
email,
so-
okay, I'll email. the-
Just email the town
Yeah.
office and say you're gonna,
Alright, so
a bunch of you is gonna need to get up there Tuesday. And you'll need someone to unlock.
And
the
I need
gates
to
for you.
email.
And you need to, it's, what's her name? Benner, the new person who is taking over part of Phil's work. I'm blanking on her first name.
Okay. Well, the only one I know right now is Hannah.
You
So-
can send it to Hannah. and-
9
and-
o'clock, meet at the tennis courts and then where.
Yeah, then we can talk to the stump dump or something.
Yeah.
Hannah for Tuesday, open the gates.
And I think it's always good, apparently these days, to CC Terry. They
Yeah.
just get it done.
Yeah,
Okay, and John. So that John and Leslie know. And so right now, it's the 4 of us. Okay, 4.
I work on Tuesdays.
What?
I'm at work on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's fine, you know, you will have plenty of.
We'll get you.
We'll get you.
Any chance?
you'll get your yards in.
I'm having trouble with my daily around the dirt list.
Huh? You and me both.
So my
Okay.
weed whacker fully charged with extra batteries.
Yeah, I have one that can bring a couple batteries, extra
And-
string and all that stuff.
And, Maren has offered to take us on a site visit
Yeah,
after we've absorbed
The report.
the report, which I think we
so
need some
can
time
we
to
wait
do.
for October on this?
Oh,
Because I'm
absolutely,
not-
but I'd also just like a sense of who would like to come
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Walk.
All right, so
Definitely.
then we have to, it has to be a special town meeting,
Special,
a special,
it's a public,
a special conservation commission meeting.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Gotta
and
post
we
it.
have to invite anybody, the public, who would
Oh,
like
you
to
gotta-
come up and get bitten by mosquitoes with us.
yeah, I don't know what the rules are for posting, but that's what you have to do is post it.
Well, we just do it like any other
Yeah.
meeting once, so we just need to. I mean, that's the first thing I needed to know, is enough of us want to come, that it's got to be a meeting.
You're talking
And that's
about,
in October, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, on the month of October, but I'd love to do it.
Well, who knows when
It's
it'll
later.
be, you're gonna, when are you gone?
I'm gone from September twenty-sixth to October 23rd.
Ah, okay. Well, who knows when it'll be.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be the last week of October.
Well,
No mosquitoes.
There you go.
Yeah.
yes, and there are less leaves, so you
Yeah,
can
you
really
can see, that's better,
This is the worst time of year to see.
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I,
right, I did.
in the winter time, I can see through the woods between me and the next road and see who's going up and down the road, but right now, it's like somebody pulled the curtain.
Right, so even November, but late October or
Not
November.
November, that's hunting season.
Oh,
We don't
when
want
does
to
she-
decide.
wait, when does hunting season start?
The 1st of November.
Okay, so late October. When, what date are you back?
I'm back on the 23rd.
Okay, after
But I
October, after 20.
You wanna do it the morning of the 24th, right?
6 hours,
Exactly.
time difference,
Yeah,
7 hours.
what time do you get back, right?
okay. Well, let's see if we can fit it in that window.
That would be great, because I really would love to see it.
Mhm.
I had no idea that there was quarrying going on, and yet there's a lot around where Rachel and I, that area where we live.
Yes.
It's a nice big quarry.
Well,
I can't wait to go swimming in it.
He said he swam in it, didn't,
Yeah, Jeff said he used to swim in it as a kid.
Oh, wow.
In the quarry of the land. Oh, no, this is.
Yeah,
Used to be spot.
Okay,
all set on that,
okay, now,
water quality.
appraisal. Down the road, we're going to need an appraisal. I really, and Catherine and I have talked, Sam and I have talked to Land for Maine's Future about this. The interesting wrinkle for us is that the appraisal that Land for Maine's Future typically accepts has to be the appraisal, the same appraisal that we use for
the titulations.
the insurance.
Yeah, title.
Title insurance, or I was blanking on the word. So for us, that is going to be a much lower value than the land was worth when we bought it. Because we have now imposed conservation conditions on it.
Yeah,
I'm having difficulty hearing you,
Oh.
I'm sorry, because I realize you're facing me.
Oh, okay.
A
So
little bit louder, so I make sure I get it right.
Land for Maine's Future requires. Typically, will only look at the assessment done. Of current value for title insurance. In our situation. That is much lower value. We don't know how much lower, but we know it's lower. Than the land was worth when we bought it, because it's now subject to conservation conditions, which automatically reduces. You
It's
know,
commercial
its range of usefulness. So it's possible that even so. Because it was such a bargain. That. The current assessment will still support our full grant request. It has to be at least double 67,000.
okay,
We may be fine.
Yeah,
130.
Okay, but. If not, I've asked Land for Maine's Future, well, could we give you two assessments, you know, at purchase and now? And they said, well, we might ask the board if they would make an exception. So that's a possibility. We may never need to go there. Um. But
There-
I
there's-
would like. You said you were gonna go back to the folks who said they were too busy now to consider us, and if you're gonna be telling them that the appraisal can't happen for some time yet. And by the time. The coast is clear because we've got the land registered, we've done the 5 parcels into one. We've recorded it with the easement, which is all that stuff has to happen.
And what is the timeline for that?
We don't know. It'll happen when it happens.
So
It's
it's in
going to
the
be,
hands of
but
the
it's
lawyer?
going to be at least October, I would think. It may slip into November.
Okay,
There's no urgency. These things have to happen at some point. We have to have an appraisal before we can get title
Okay.
insurance.
so right now, we're waiting for the lawyer.
And
Complete.
ironically, she got back to me at 5 minutes after 6 yesterday when I was in the select board meeting, so none of us knew she'd finally gotten back to us. But she said, she'll get to us pretty soon.
Okay, so there is pretty soon, so let's say by the end of September, is it fair to assume that she will be done?
Oh, no. It is pretty fair to assume that any day she can give us the language that we need for step 1, which is the agreement that Jeff Smith and the town,
Oh,
the
yes,
select board need to sign, changing the conditions on the deed. Because they dropped a crucial word and they didn't allow us to restore anything, only to preserve what was there and get rid of invasives. So they're going to be signing an agreement which town meeting approved that corrects that error in the deed. And she has to write the agreement and we have to say, yes, it works, it does exactly what we want. Then we have to track down Jeff Smith, who is always hard to find, and get the select board, get them all to sign the document. Then we have to have a special town meeting to apply those same corrected conditions to the Klein property. So that,
but that's not a big step, we put the announcement and nobody's gonna show up.
oh,
Yeah.
I agree, but it's just that all these things have to happen.
Yes, but I'm trying to see where the bottlenecks are, and,
Well, up till now, it's been the lawyer was on vacation.
yeah.
I don't
The
know,
fact
he
that-
said she was busy with the kind of stuff that pays
Yeah.
the bills,
Right.
which we are not going to do.
Yes, so that's exactly it, and she cannot complete her task until she has the appraisal. To get
I'm
the,
sorry, who can't?
we need the appraisal value to get the title insurance.
Right,
Right.
Okay, so those 2 steps at
We
the end.
need,
are
and we
intertwined.
need it all recorded to get the appraisal.
right.
Yes, okay,
And we can't get it recorded till we change the conditions in,
and then for
On
the
the land.
appraisal, actually, the summer is their busiest period to all the appraisers. I contacted 3, 1, I think is out of business because no phone answers or whatever. And 1 I spoke to, and then emailed, and the other one I emailed. And the one I emailed wrote back to me saying she was actually so busy, she wanted to withdraw herself from consideration. But now that we are delayed, I'm going to recontact those 2 appraisers and say, we have delays in our own schedule. So we are now looking at appraisal in November.
Well-
And which would require a letter, of, what do you call it? Intent or a contract or submission of a proposal, like by the end of September. Because obviously we need to make a decision which one we're gonna go with, so they need to submit a proposal. And I gave them information as to what the proposal should cover, but now I need to add the twist, because only one of them had asked me, do you want the appraisal at time of purchase, or now that it has,
The easements on it.
yeah,
Okay.
and obviously, the other one and I had been mistaken, I thought we were all set on combining the plots. And she wanted assurance that it was, we were looking at one single property, that the plots had been combined already, which apparently is not the case yet. So delaying all that is actually to our benefit because they might be available by then. But it's important that we contact them now so that they can put us in
Get on
their
their
calendar.
And if you would ask them both.
Yes.
Please separately give us a price for just doing the current value appraisal.
Yeah,
And then what in addition would they charge
yes,
to do the
yeah,
at
time of
purchase,
purchase.
at time, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we may never need to go there, but.
It's nice to have, yeah.
Well, and that needs to be in our estimate of. Yes,
Can I just for understanding? I understand that it'll be worth less now that it's got this conservation status. And I just don't understand, what's the motivation one way or the other? Do you want it, to be, you really want it to be appraised at this higher value at the time? of
no,
purchase?
we wanted to support our grant request. And to do that, it has to be worth at least double the 67,000.
Got it, I'm sorry, I missed that, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if it doesn't, and if the board will not make an exception, our choices are to lower the grant request or come up with more cash matching.
Got it.
All right,
Okay. All right, I
well,
think,
water quality, that's a pass, I'm assuming.
John?
Yeah, we've been,
Oh,
doing the testing every 2 weeks
Mhm.
at 5 sites. And. You know, it's been going smoothly. For the past, however. Number of years that we've been doing it, we have found out that we've been doing it at the wrong time of the time. But this year, we're doing it the right time of the time. We have been doing it right after high tide, and we should be doing it at the very. Just, right around low tide, so that we're getting the flowage off the land, so we can see.
With
So,
less intrusion from the ocean, right?
Less intrusion from the ocean, we're getting mostly just ocean water,
so,
yes, but.
All right,
But, and we're also getting the town of South Thomaston to do the bacterial testing for free.
of Thomaston?
South Thomas,
We're South Thomaston, we don't,
excuse me, Thomaston.
yeah, hello?
to do the additional testing on,
Yeah, we, as well as getting the salinity
Yeah.
and temperature and turbidity and all that, we
Right.
also get a sample for,
chemical analysis.
no,
No.
mostly bacteria,
Bacteria.
Bacteria.
just bacteria.
Okay, bacteria, okay, so biological analysis, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. But they're just seeing what kind of bacteria we're looking for.
That's the
So,
primary interest, the bacteria from the flow off the land.
I'm a foot soldier. And that's one of the issues that we've been trying to work out is. What exactly are the, what results have we been getting? And what have been the trends over time? And there's Theo. Says that there's a way to get it, but she hasn't shown me or anybody else how to get there yet. But,
And
it's
so
something
how to
that's
get-
new with the state. And apparently you can get very old results, but you can't get the current.
Right,
you mean the state just doesn't make them available? Or
It
they
is a slow
aren't?
process.
in a timely manner, right?
Anytime we can, from what I understood here to say is that we can get ones that are several years old. But the new systems from inflow to overflow. And some of these, streams, like a Dublin one, that may give us some information because that's very, very low. But on if I get the overflow at the gig store, that's just gonna be just whatever just came in.
Yeah. And not what you wanted to get.
And, you know,
So all those years of data are,
Suspect.
it's gonna be different.
yeah. So another question, Georges River said that they might help with volunteer recruitment. Have you amassed any more volunteers?
No.
Aside.
Basically, it's been West Theo and I, and often my wife will come. There are Rob Sherrill, who lives in Spruceville, Iowa,
Mhm.
most of the books, in the summer, and will be in the. for a lot of
He's not in
purposes.
Antarctica, right?
He's not in Antarctica, but, that's where he's, spent a number of winters, but, but he's interested in doing it, so.
Thank you.
And Theo had expressed some hesitation about the quality of the work of the Thomaston lab, but you're still using it?
I hadn't heard that.
Okay, I'll have to ask her.
I think she had reservations about one of the people there. But the person that we've been dealing with, she seems to have
Oh, okay.
confidence in.
Yeah, she said there were some, the
In terms of
pattern, the
person.
pattern just didn't make sense of results.
And
Okay. If it's better, it's better. And the next issue is you also, which is, did you ever make it to the planetarium art show?
no, that was a real,
Bad timing,
real bad time.
yeah.
We got a message maybe 2 weeks
I know.
before that it was going to be on a certain date on the 24th of July.
Yep.
Or was it that weekend?
It was the
It
24th.
was the 24th of July. And I had a house full of guests, and, so I said, we couldn't make it. And
What show was that?
it was a children's art show when we did the planetarium,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
made art.
and the kids made some work. And, Lauren felt that a good thing would be to, to have a show for the kids' art. But
Did they have the show?
I don't know that either, she.
That would be at Guilford Public.
That
Yeah,
was going to be at the
that's
Guilford
where it was
Public
gonna
School
be.
on the 24th.
I don't remember seeing anything about it. I think it would have.
My guess is that it fell through, because I didn't hear anything, about it.
Yeah, it seems like the
Apologies.
a notice about it would have gone out from the town.
well,
I don't
the
know.
coordination was exasperating.
But but I apologize, because I told you when you were leaving, I said, okay, I think we both said, okay, we'll take care of it, Sandra, go on your vacation. And then summers are hard,
Yeah,
this summer.
but the only time I'd ever hear from, Lauren is when I contact her and say, what's happening?
Yeah.
So the coordination was not what I would have wished. But a pity. But in the course of it, John did send me a message saying, do we have any information to put out about?
I know, that was an interesting, he wanted to, like,
Well,
promote the commission.
Well, that's what
Which was a
had been
nice idea.
Lauren's idea of Laurel, I'm not sure I got her name right. That this would be an opportunity for both conservation commissions, us and Owl's Head to, say who we are and what we're doing and maybe, make some, raise our profile. I don't think that's a bad idea, but I was not prepared to try and gin something up on the spot.
Yeah,
But I do think it's time for us to think about having a one pager that would be available, like if we have educational programs. And the equivalent of that one pager on our webpage, on the town website. And the Maine Association of Conservation Commissions twice a year puts out this newsletter that comes in our email inboxes. Of everything that's going on, that conservation commissions all over the state are reporting they're doing, and we've never contributed to that. And I think as we get going on the forest preserve, for one thing, that, we should.
I think the forest preserve is the big story.
Yeah.
It's the really big story.
Oh,
And I think it's, I mean, everyone I speak to, everyone gets enthusiastic about it.
having a full board, that's a big story too.
That's Marie and Rachel. That we have a full complement, we have no vacancies.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
given the
that's-
status of other.
Yeah,
things.
that's not an easy thing, it's not a guarantee.
Yes,
We're the only complete one in
let's
the.
not get smug, somebody
No.
else, somebody will.
Yeah, not gonna win, all right.
Anyway, I would be interested in anybody volunteering. You don't have to do the whole thing, but if there are pieces that you would like to suggest we put into these documents, I think we should create.
Yes, I don't mind doing like a little list of bullet points, send it out, and then if anybody has anything particular to say about one of those points or wants to add one, just get it back to me, and I'll start putting this together. And overall, I mean, it's like clean up land use, sponsoring water testing, you know, doing the, you know, things for programming, stuff like that.
Mhm.
All right, and it'll just be kind of an outline.
Well,
Sit back and any
Yeah.
comments on anything you have or some, you know, I'd like this sentence in there because it's you know, that kind of thing. We'll just get it done.
Right. I think I think there are gonna be three separate things with some shared content, but for the web page, for a one pager that we could have when we have any kind of public facing event, and a write-up that would go in the Conservation Maine Association bulletin. And you all have, unless you've deleted it, examples of earlier ones, so you can see what other conservation commissions do. So,
Did you send that to us in an email?
no, it comes to the Conservation Commission, so you all get
We
it.
all received it? One who I didn't know, an email from someone I've never heard of, that's definitely one I wouldn't have opened.
Well, no, it wouldn't come to you, it comes to the you can see that it's addressed to the Conservation Commission and you get it because you're in our
Got
dedicated
it,
email.
Would it be possible for,
I
if
can
you know
send it
which one
again.
it is, do you mind flagging, like forwarding that to us? Like in.
Yeah,
Well, I can,
Did you
all right.
see it?
I can't place it.
Oh, I
can't
mean,
place
it's-
it.
it's-
I'd love to see what the other people have, other ones have written up.
It's been a while, I mean, it's been a few months, probably
Okay,
since.
so maybe
last
it was
came
before
out.
I joined you.
So it should
It
go
could
the
be,
regional association here.
right,
Well, it's like you have a letter in the town report.
Yeah.
probably just send you guys the couple most recent ones. And it would be interesting in your spare time to see what our fellow conservation commissions are doing.
Thank you.
Actually, you know, when I started the county conservation commission group, it was because I was feeling like, here we are, the seven of us plus three associates, and the rest of the town has no interest. I mean, I just felt like we were this little island that nobody noticed. And I reached out to our fellow 5 conservation commissions in Knox County because I needed the moral support. And now we've got a whole state worth of moral support with other conservation commissions.
Okay.
So that's my pitch. I will send them out to you.
Great.
And backing up a little bit on new members, I'm going to send out to everybody. And those of you who've been around longer got it earlier. The main statute that creates conservation commissions and our ordinance, which also includes our bylaws, which I would invite everybody to read or read again. so that, like, we know what the rules are we're supposed to be operating under.
Good idea.
And what's expected of us.
Yeah, okay. I think,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay, so but the other thing I wanted to ask, so since we dropped the ball on this planetarium school event this year, is that gonna happen again next year? Does, I
The
mean,
planetarium
it
thing.
would be like, yeah, maybe
Or
we
the
can,
drop
we can be
ball?
more forward. Not the drop ball, but more, is the, they're gonna be that, I mean, we went to the planetarium show and it was terrific over there at the kids' the school. Is that gonna happen again? Do you have any ideas?
that's up to,
Because if so,
Okay.
we might be able to be a little more kind of pre-positioned this time to talk to the art teacher or talk to Gopher Butler and because it all kind of happened a little bit more. without planning.
what happened, the way it all transpired last year was that Lauren reached out to me saying, we're going to do it. We do something every year. We take some money out of our budget and do something for the school kids. And the school is the elementary school for both Owl's Head and South Thomas. And they may want to do something different every year. And so she reached out and said, would you co-sponsor? Would you come up with half of the money? And that's how we got into it.
Yeah.
And we were sort of the, I don't know, the
Third wheel?
Well, you know,
younger
it's just,
brother, something like that.
Something like
Your
that,
brothers.
yes.
And they just kept forgetting to include us.
no, you know,
So, if
the
we-
teachers organize activities and they need help with funding, but in the end, I think teachers like to be in charge of what they do. And, but it's for them to figure out that we are a resource that's available, and that's all we can do at this point, is to offer to support them in other ways than
Yeah.
financially.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can't force them to use us. And we can just tell them, you know, we would love to help you, and if you can think of other ways, can help you.
Yeah, you can do it, little things
Right,
every year,
well,
builds up a
Are you
relationship.
talking the school or the conservation commission?
Well, what we did was to support the school.
We never.
What
had any
we
go
did
on-
was contribute to a an Owl's Head Conservation Commission effort. And basically, I think, you know,
It wasn't the show happening in the school, and
Yes, it was,
Awesome.
it was paid for by the Conservation Commission of Owl's Head and then we cost shared.
yes.
We
and-
contributed,
but
they
it's
had
like-
organized it.
So
it was the
something,
Conservation Commission that organized the whole thing.
Yeah.
Coordinating, however, with the principal and. the
okay, I thought
Ever.
it was the teachers that
No.
had initiated this.
No.
I don't know.
No,
Okay.
but I did
Okay.
not, I really did feel like we were a frequently forgotten junior
It's
partner.
okay.
And maybe
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
not an arrangement we wanna
The
get
ugly
into again.
stepchild.
Hmm?
The ugly stepchild.
Something like that, anyway. She also kept calling Guilford Butler, the Guilford Butler Center in Thomaston. It was like, can you find this place, honey? Anyway, I don't know.
So, I don't know, yeah.
Um,
But,
okay.
you know, my point remains that this is for the schools, and the schools have their programs and they have their schedule. You can't force yourself onto the school, you know, in the end, the school has to welcome it.
Mhm.
And, you know, I would prefer going about the relationship, saying, okay, this was done, so there is the Owl's Head Conservation Commission, which is the bigger intermediary with the school. And say, you know, we're happy to do that, we are open to doing more. But it's not for us to say, I want to do this for the students. The teachers have to say, yes, that fits in my program, yes, I have time for this, you know. we can't impose ourselves on the school. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Right, well, if I may, but Mr. Tripp, the principal over there, I think he just and Lauren had a chat. I mean, I think she just, my impression when we were sitting there with them, the two of them, is that she had just proposed this and he was excited. So,
Well, they had done something else in the school the year before. I mean, this is not,
nice.
this is an ongoing thing. They try to do something every year for the elementary school, but at one point in my communications back and forth, I said, well, you know, those are the elementary kids, but maybe we could think about programs for the middle school and high school kids who might be get more benefit out of conservation related programs than little kids who have a good time, but you know.
It's big work, I'm telling you.
Well, anyway, but she wasn't interested in that because the middle school and the high school aren't in Alsted.
Right,
So maybe we say you've sparked some interest and we might like to work with the schools.
Well,
We might
first of all,
like
you
to-
might do a survey, who has time to contribute, something, and that's I'm like, I'm booked, I can't, I understand it's where is the goal? But do we have the resources before you go offering?
Well, but mostly it was just contracting with somebody who did it professionally. I mean, the actual work of the Conservation Commission didn't have to be
So then it
much
becomes
at
a
all.
financial contribution.
Exactly,
But it's like.
or not, yeah.
Well, that's the key. I think right now we have a big item on our plate, which is raising money for the preserve. So I would not start adding other goals for fundraising.
That's fine. So
Okay.
we can say
Unless
next
Maria
year.
decides, hey, I wanna be the education link.
I'm gonna spare
I'm
him.
just taking it all in.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
maybe we need an see if we can recruit an education.
Well, Leslie was very interested in this, but I don't want to speak for her. She's not here, but she was an educator herself and for those grades. So, I think her opinion would be very valuable to hear at this point.
Well, we do have a little bit of money for education programs, and what we have done mostly is have programs for adults. Whether it was on invasive species or on dark skies. And those have been very well received, and I think they've been very valuable.
And it's a
We could
good
think
way to
about-
demonstrate our value and.
And St. George, I think, for example, would be very interested in collaborating on some of that.
Yeah, we did that, sharing, that works well.
Anyway,
Sorry, I raised. I brought it up.
no, I think it was useful to talk through. All right, anything else? Without objection, meeting is adjourned at 6:17.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
and welcome.
Welcome, Lorraine.
Yeah.
And can I get my printer doesn't work, can I get a copy of the 82 page?
It was 53.
Yeah,
actually-
Where the 80.
I think it's 53 pages.
No, it isn't. The thing is that the attachments at the back. Hannah was not able to get the town printer to print. So the attachments at the back of the document that have, information sheets on invasives and stuff.
Yeah.
That is not in the thing I
Got it.
That added up to 80 something, cause I
Yeah.
printed everything.
It was 83 if you printed everything.
All right, I can go to Staples and print one eventually.
You don't have a printer, right?
No,
I remember working with you.
So next Tuesday,
yep. I mean, unless you hear from me that there is a big thing happening and we cannot do it, or if it's pouring rain.
That would be great.
Or 104 degrees.
It's a
But,
brain.
I'm counting on it.
Theoretically, tomorrow. Oh, is anybody thinking about going to the Georgia River?
What's that? The opening of that.
Georgia River Annual meeting.
I know.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Georgia River Land Trust
Spencer, SP.
annual meeting potluck picnic.
Okay, I just need to.
If you had.
Out in oyster something.
Well, it won't be, not the detailed kind of